Welcome to the inside of the Mitsubishi Pajero Sport, which is a 7-seater adventure SUV. The Pajero is a well-named nameplate here in South Africa, and so is the Mitsubishi brand. Mitsubishi is known for making the Evo and the Eclipse, which featured in Fast and Furious, so the engines that they make are very nice. This engine that's inside here features the same technology. It is the MyVec Dock engine, which is a diesel engine. It's a 2.4 liter diesel which has a turbocharger and an intercooler, so it's quite powerful. It makes 133 kilowatts and 430 newton meters of torque, and it's mated to a 8-speed automatic transmission that shifts really nicely and does a very good job. The engine is also fuel efficient and very powerful, quite responsive, and I have no complaints with it. The vehicle, when I received the unit, it had just over 1,500 kilometers clocked on it, so it was very new. The engine still feels very tight, so the vehicle feels nice. The build quality is good. I've been enjoying my week with it. It's very plain inside here though. It's not like the newer SUVs, modern SUVs that have very updated interior space, but this is very robust. I do like it. There could be more cup holders on top here, which most of its rivals do have, and the infotainment system could be updated as well, but the infotainment system works very nicely. It's very smooth and very efficient though, I must say, and it loads all my MP3s that I plug in from the MP3 player down here. It also has a HDMI port down at the bottom, 2 USB inlets in the front, and then there's 2 USB ports at the back for charging, as well as a socket that you can just plug your 2-prong plug in. So I think that's very cool. Build quality is nice. The seats are comfortable. This is electronically adjustable for the driver. I'm not sure about the passenger. No, the passenger has manually adjusted seats, but the vehicle is nice. Steering wheel feels good. It is multifunctional, of course. It has cruise control on this Aspire model that we'll drive in. The steering wheel is very heavy weighted, which I do like, but sometimes it is a bit annoying when you need to park. So sometimes, like when I'm turning, like I'm gonna turn here, and then when usually the steering wheel corrects itself and spins nicely, but this sometimes you have to like manually correct it a bit, so the steering is a bit weighted in that manner. So the Mitsubishi Pajero Sport is available in, I think it's 60 derivatives. Pricing starts from around 700,000 rand and it goes all the way up to 900,000 rand. But the model we are in is the one just below the top spec model. It's also 4x4 and it is kitted quite nicely. Pricing for this model is 875,000 rand. There are also 2-wheel drive derivatives, which would cost you obviously less, but if that's what you're going for, I think you don't really need the 4-wheel drive system. I did test out the 4-wheel drive system. We went to the 4x4 course in the week, and the vehicle performed really well. So the Pajero Sport is based on the Triton, the Mitsubishi Triton, which is a serious 4x4 bakkie that is built on a ladder-on frame chassis. So is the Pajero Sport, so it's quite rugged and hard, and when you get inside it looks and feels like a bakkie. It is a bit dated compared to the other bakkies that are on the market at the moment, but it's very rugged and it's quite a serious off-roader. The power delivery is sweet. The steering is very nicely weighted. While it's weighted, it's quite heavy feeling, which I like. Inputs are also quite, like I would say, a bit heavy, so you have to actually press the accelerator, press the brakes. It feels very nice and it is quite an engaging drive. It's solid. Power delivery is nice. It feels very comfortable. The suspension is decently tuned. It's not the best. It reminds me a lot of the D-Max, but it's not as good. The Pajero Sport has a 68 litre fuel tank, which is not that big. The competition, it is better. I think the Isuzu has 72 litres, and then the Pajero Sport has a 213mm ground clearance, and I have the departure angle and approach angle written down here. I'll read it out to you. It has a 30-degree approach angle, a 24.2-degree departure angle, and a 23.1 ramp out. It has the 8-inch infotainment system. It has automatic climate control, and then there's also air conditioning at the back for rear passengers with controls that they can set it to, which I feel is very nice. And then the 4x4 systems, it works really well. I tried it out at the 4x4 course. I put it in 4i, 4HLC, and then 4 low as well. So in 4i, it's normal 4i, and there's also diff lock that you can put on for the rear axle. And then 4HL, there are various modes in here for mud and different terrain. There's also hill descent assist, which I tried out and it worked really nicely. I just popped it in 4i, went on the hill, put the hill descent on, put it in first gear so that it doesn't jump gears, and then put my foot off the brake, and then the car just went down with ease. Driving there was also nice on the long road. Got to stretch the legs a bit and feel what it's like on the open road. The vehicle performed nicely, just that the suspension could be a bit better. That's what I feel. I feel like it could be tuned better. It's not as good as the Isuzu MUX, I have to say, because that's the vehicle that I have the most experience with. The MUX is a lot more composed and a lot more, like, the suspension is just better. But with that being said, if you're a Pajero fan or you like Japanese vehicles but you're not too interested in the 1.9 litre or the 3 litre that they have, this is somewhere in the middle, and it's a 2.4 litre diesel engine as well. That performs quite well. Seating arrangement is very nice, but the back seat is very small and it's flat. Folding it up is easy. There's also very little boot space. Yeah, with the top spec Exceed model, I see that you get a sunroof that is not in this model. Also on the steering wheel, which I wanted to mention, is that there are shifting paddles, which come in handy because it's 8-speed, and shifting the paddles does help with either saving fuel if you want to, or getting more performance out of it and letting the gears drag out a bit more. The shifting paddles don't turn with the steering wheel, they just stay in the middle, and I quite like it. They're big, so like I said, when you turn in and the steering wheel is busy correcting itself, you can already be gearing up or gearing down, like I'll do now. I'll turn here. So I'm turning now, steering's corrected, I'm gearing down. Well, not the best display, but anyway. So yeah, that's it for the Mitsubishi Pajero Sport. I do recommend that you have a test drive. It's Japanese, it's built really well, and yeah, it's robust. Peace guys, see you at the next one.